Welcome to the 𝗙𝗵𝗏𝗶𝗀 podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dads, listening to Tomcats, talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. All right, let's go. 𝗙𝗵𝗏𝗶𝗀 podcast. It's the 𝗙𝗵𝗏𝗶𝗀 podcast. 𝗙𝗵𝗏𝗶𝗀 podcast. It's the 𝗙𝗵𝗏𝗶𝗀 podcast. 𝗙𝗵𝗏𝗶𝗀 podcast. 𝗙𝗵𝗏𝗶𝗀 podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to a brand new director's spotlight here on the 𝗙𝗵𝗏𝗶𝗀 podcast. Today, we begin our journey into David Fincher. Now, this is our briefest spotlight yet, tied with 𝗙𝗃𝗃 here. We are only doing 2 David Fincher movies in anticipation of The Killer for its Netflix release here in a couple weeks. However, I'm so very excited. I'm so very excited, and today we begin with Fight Club, released on October 15th, 1999. It is based on the novel by 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗃, and the screenplay is by Jim Olds. It is directed by David Fincher. I am Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. And what a flick we've got on the docket today, Fight Club,
Ooh.
Man. This is a classic. This is one that,
Yeah.
you know, whenever you ask someone what their favorite movie is and they say Fight Club, you go, come on now, get creative a little bit. You know, but you
True.
can't blame them. You
But
can't
yeah,
blame them.
It's not a bad choice. It's an all-around movie. And, I don't know, it's kind of weird to think it's a movie about as old as older than I, about a year. 24 years ago, almost. We got it to the month, actually. Maybe
Yes.
not when this is coming. Maybe? Is it still October? No,
it'll
it's
be
technically November 1st.
It's November 1st, baby.
But that's crazy. And apparently the author, Chuck, I think you said it much more beautifully than I can.
𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗃.
Thank you.
That's my best guess.
The movie is actually an improvement to his book, which is kind of nuts.
It's rare. It's rare.
I'd say that I can probably believe that in this one. This one just works. I don't know, visually, it's really cool to have this. Dude, no, that book moment would be kind of nuts. Like, can you imagine? You're the one having to imagine them separate. Not, it's done for us on the movie, for the movie with 2 different humans. But if you're reading the book, you're doing it yourself. And then when you're sitting down in the hotel room talking to yourself, you realize that it's only one person. And you've been 2 people there the whole time. That'd be crazy.
Kind of gnarly.
In book form. But, not to take away from the movie, because the movie was also fucking fantastic.
Dude.
Yeah, oh my god.
It's one of those movies that I watched years ago, and obviously I appreciated it a few years back. And then I got to watch it again just a couple months ago after you stated it in your top 100. So probably only about a month and a half ago. I was like, you know what? I need to give Fight Club a rewatch because at that time we weren't planning on doing Fincher. We had a few other plans. We were maybe doing Ridley Scott. So, I wasn't too, and Villanueva was still on the docket because Dune 2 wasn't delayed yet. But yeah, so
damn.
I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and watch Fight Club. We're not going to cover it anytime soon. Might as well give it a look. But, I watched it about a month and a half ago, loved it, watched it just a couple nights ago, and just, I'm amazed that this is one of those movies you feel weird about liking because of the people who typically love this movie, and it's a little Wolf of Wall Street, a little Scarface in that way, because there are a lot of people who get the wrong thing out of this movie. I would say, for me, film is a subjective medium, take from it what you will. But morally, I think there is a wrong way to take this.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Tyler is right, and I'm in. I am starting my own fight. No, I'm kidding. No, I think, I was kind of thinking that while watching, as well, being like, man, like Tyler is making a little bit of sense here, and I can see how someone can absolutely take this and just be like, oh, well, what he's doing is 100% okay.
Oh yeah, no, like it's like he has these nuggets of wisdom sprinkled into a just giant pile of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally becomes everything he sought out to destroy. You know, he was like the franchises and the going national and controlling everything. And, he's using that method to tear that stuff down, but he's still using that method. Literally, Ed Norton says at one point in the movie, he'd been setting up franchises. You couldn't go to a major city in the United States without finding a fight club.
This is true. They were even corporate sponsored.
Yes.
By his own job, just because, I mean, what a fucking setup there. That's incredible. Just that one little scene there. Of him
until the end of the movie, that was my favorite scene.
Oh, man.
Because that line he delivers where he's like, for some reason, I was reminded of my first fight with Tyler. He literally says that line.
Wow.
And the reason he's reminded of his first fight with Tyler is because this is exactly what he did during his first fight with Tyler.
Dude.
Yeah.
He's good at it. Like, and like the first time I watched this movie, I didn't see the twist coming. I'm thinking they're different people the whole time. I guess maybe it's up in the air, but not really. I don't think on the first time that I'm watching. I'm thinking it's like starting to click whenever it's starting to click for, I guess, how are we going to refer to him here? Just Ed Norton and Brad Pitt, or?
Yeah, I mean, they're, I'm gonna call Tyler, Brad Pitt is Tyler Durden. I'm probably just going to refer to Ed Norton as Ed Norton. He doesn't get a name until he's revealed as Tyler Durden, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Tyler Durden is everything that Tyler Durden wants Tyler Durden to be, So,
well, and that's what's also interesting is, does he have an actual different name? Because at the beginning of the movie, he's putting on all these different aliases, but he's going to all these different places and has all these different names because he can't have any overlap or anything. So I'm curious if Tyler Durden is his actual name or he assumed that identity once he began.
Wonder if his boss ever says it. That'd probably be the realest human.
I don't think his boss ever says a name. But
Dang.
Yeah, no, it's a gnarly movie, man, and I think that there are a lot of movies that have these major twists where the entire movie is predicated on getting to that, and once you get to that, it's like, this was all worth it. I think this movie's kind of worth it without that twist. This twist is just a little bit of a, like, literally, you could do a whole thing where Brad Pitt does exist. Tyler Durden is a guy that actually is there. And then he bitches out and can't keep going with what he's doing, and then they fight, and that could be the end of the movie, and that could be cool, but to add that layer to it just makes it all the better and all the more enjoyable, because there are so many moments throughout the movie that just really, really, I remember when we were talking Shutter Island a few weeks back, they don't do a lot of the tip in the cap and like, you go back and rewatch it and you're like, how did I not know? Watching it. I was watching it with Emily the other night, and she has never heard. She has no idea what the twist in Fight Club is, which blows my fucking mind.
Wow.
She unfortunately fell asleep about 45 minutes in, so we still have to finish the movie. But she's even asking, like, she's asking a little bit of a question every once in a while that's like, if you think a little further about it, it's a little weird. Like that scene whenever Marla calls and he picks up, and then you get the like fading of them having sex that night, and it's like the weird CGI versions of them going to town. And then the next morning he's sitting in the kitchen and she comes out and he's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And Emily goes, oh, why doesn't he remember?
Yeah. Wow.
You know, so she's like,
wow.
Yeah, she's like, why doesn't he remember that he had sex with her? So like, it's just because she's not thinking that deep into it. She's not thinking there's some, like, she doesn't even know there's a fucking twist in Fight Club. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
I think they show that animated kind of sex scene before the morning, right? Or
yeah.
like, yeah, it's like Ed Norton.
They frame it as like a dream that he had.
Yeah, Ed Norton puts down the phone. That's right. It happens, and he goes, "You won't believe this crazy dream I had." To Marla. Marla's the first one to come downstairs because Brad Pitt only enters whenever Marla's gone.
Yeah.
So, wow, yeah, that's right. Probably on first watch, that is probably the first tell of like, well, you probably just think, well, no, because
it might be because he's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And she's like, "Fuck you," and then she leaves, you know, and you're like. The first time you watch that, if you have no idea what's going on, you're like, "What the fuck was that interaction?"
Yeah,
you
put
know,
yourself
like
in the girl's shoes. It's like, I mean, according to that CGI scene that we saw, seemed to be one of the greatest fucking experiences of all time. And you know, she just walks downstairs to the kitchen and go, you know, and all she hears, "Why the fuck are you in my house?" You know, like, what the fuck are you doing here? Can you imagine, like just. On a dime, someone flipping on you like that
hell.
Marla has to deal with the whole lot here.
No, Marla's my favorite character of the movie. I love Helena Bonham Carter as Marla Singer. I love the introduction of the character itself is already outstanding. The fact that she's doing the same thing that Ed Norton is doing.
Why is she always this like I don't know, this character's kind of common for her. Not gonna lie, in Harry Potter, she's kind of this, like, not as freaky, obviously, but as freaky as Harry Potter can get. She's like, she's on Voldemort's side.
No, she's different, man. She's got a different vibe, and I think that every director, it's kind of magnetic. She's got this thing about her that's like, all right, yeah, let's roll with that, you know, because she's also in Les Mis.
Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. Small role. She's the mom. She kind of just has this look still. I mean, they're just poor in that movie, so that's kind of just sad. But like, I don't know. Yeah, it's very weird that she's. Yeah,
she's also in Les Miserables, and she's basically the same character, but in early 1800s France.
Don't tell me. What's going on here? Maybe there is something deeper. We thought Tyler Durden was the main character of this movie. They're trying to tell us that Marla Singer is the main character of the whole fucking world.
Yeah,
and
right.
She's just doing little hints to try to let us know what's going on.
No, man, she's she's just 100% my favorite character simply because she, you know, she's been through some shit, and you can tell, you know, I've been fucked like that since grade school. The shit that came out of this girl's mouth. You would not believe, but
yeah, wow.
I loved everything about it. Loved the character design. There's one shot that I considered very early on. It's kind of the introductory shot where she's smoking the cigarette and the smoke is just slowly oozing out of her mouth and going upwards, and she's got the sunglasses on. Yeah, it's right. Very, very cool. But the way she sticks by Ed Norton through all the shit, and you know, that indicates to me that she hasn't been in the healthiest of relationships if she's down to ride for this and stuff. But and this is certainly not a healthy relationship to get into, but it seems like we're at the beginning of something that could be good by the end of the movie.
To be fair, they did meet at support groups for people in which that they had no business being with. That's how they met. That's what they were addicted to. They got like off. Was that the idea that Ed Norton, like, he got off on this, or that he could just sleep if he let out a good cry? So it was like the only way.
No, it was just so that he could sleep, man. Like, I don't think he was getting.
Wasn't a weird thing. It was just okay.
I mean, it's a weird thing, but it's not a sexual thing.
Because there was one line in there that, like, I think he was hugging Bob, and he was like, "This one makes me." It was like a dick joke. something about how he wasn't like some rubber chub. I don't know, something like that, like half chub. I don't know.
Yeah.
But not it was, he didn't say chub. I just forgot what he said.
No, I know what you're talking about. And I'm like,
wait a minute. Is that the idea here? Like, is that the idea that it's such a euphoric experience that he cries nuts and then goes home and sleeps? And I'm like, wow. Yeah, this dude is just actually insane. You know, like starting from the very get-go, that's all this dude does all day, every day, and then he bargains them off with Marla like they're fucking like draft picks on a fantasy football team.
You can't get the whole brain, you know. Like I loved that.
Fine. You can have both the parasites, whatever, you know. But I'm taking, you know. That was another line contender there. He was like, I think testicular cancer is a no-brainer here, or a no contest here. She goes, technically, I think I deserve it more than you do. You still
I actually
have
don't
balls.
have my balls. Yeah.
Oh man, I was like, oh man, that's a weird part of the movie to like to think that that's like where it starts.
No, yeah, it is a bizarre little situation there, especially with Bob with the quote unquote bitch tits.
Yep.
Starting there and then going back even further. Love Meatloaf as Bob. His name's Robert Paulson. You know, I know what it is. In death,
yes,
a member of Project Mayhem regains his name. His name is Robert Paulson.
His name is Robert Paulson. What the fuck is Jared Leto doing in here, though? You know?
Yep. Always around. Always somewhere.
What?
Love seeing him get his fucking shit rocked. That's great.
That's honestly fair enough. I didn't think about it that way. Next time I watch it, I can't wait to see.
Yeah, Ed Norton almost beats him to death, and that's pretty great.
That's the only fight in the entire Fight Club that got everyone to be like, "Oh fuck!" Like, holy shit, dude! But they couldn't do anything because that's the leader. You know, they're like, "Well, that's how the boss got to do it." You know,
right?
I guess maybe that's how we're doing things now. You know, maybe they thought, I don't know, things were evolving, but no, man, Jared Leto, that's going to be the new face of Tron when that comes out. God damn it, if that's to be true.
I'm 100% willing to bet that whatever they've got in mind for Tron 3 won't happen.
I hope it's axed, if anything. I'd rather not have it.
I'd be willing to bet it's already been axed. Like, I don't know, but
unless they got Daft Punk to sign back on, that's the only way.
Then there's nothing worth it. Nah, Jared Leto, I appreciate that his role in this is so minimal that it's hardly anything, and then when he is there, he gets his shit absolutely kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
And what an experience that character had to have had, because Tyler Durden is Ed Norton, so whenever he's like his best friend and stuff, and he's like putting his head to his head, and he's like, "Yeah, man, you do this." He's like his second in command. He's like, "All right, dope," and then he absolutely nearly beats him to death. What do you even do then? You're
dealing with someone you don't understand. You can never let him know your next move. That's what Tyler. That's what Tyler's on. He can't even let himself know the next move. That's incredible. With the fat from what's it called, like the whatever surgery from humans, it's human fat coming from blood or whatever. Like what?
Liposuction. It's literally it's a thinning surgery.
Yeah,
it's literally removing fat from your body.
How
the part where it gets snagged on the barbed wire and he's trying to catch it with his hands, fucking disgusting.
Smart with the rug though. The rug throw over the barbed wire to climb over. Yeah. That's pretty smart. You learn a couple things in this. I don't know if it's true, but if you mix gasoline and frozen orange juice concentrate, you get a homemade bomb? I don't know. There's no way. There's no way, right? There's no shot that could actually make something explode.
Gasoline, you light that up.
Yeah, but is he saying that it's self-exploding? You just mix this shit up, boom, it just goes.
I didn't take it that way. I think you still have to ignite it. You still need a wick and
frozen orange juice concentrate. So it's like you get tubes of frozen orange juice and you just like soak it in gasoline.
Yeah.
And that might actually work. That's
that might be
scary.
A thing.
That's kind of scary.
Well, and that's what like the way that Tyler explains it. He's like, you could make bombs out of almost anything in your fucking home. Fucking horrendous, dude. There's a couple things in this movie that, you know, there's a through line there with the anti-establishment sort of thing that Tyler's got going on specifically in the beginning. That, you know, you can kind of get behind. The dude's got a magnetic personality. He starts with having decent points, and then once you get so wrapped up in it, it gets to a point where people should have taken a step back and gone, you know what, maybe this isn't what it was all cracked up to be. Brad Pitt as Tyler Durden is pretty fucking electric, though.
Oh my god, dude. And the fact that he just got like the dopest outfits as well. Marla comes in with a couple sick outfits, but Tyler, I mean, he's just consistent through it all. I don't know, a little, I guess, sneak peek. I'm glad you actually set him for costume design, because I didn't realize, and I was focusing on it during this watch, and I'm like, oh my god, like
incredible costume design.
Past just the red jacket, I mean, like, the different glasses he has every now and then are fucking
the little you know, like cloak he shows up in, the fur cloak that he shows up in at the end. His whole thing when he like takes it off and he does the thing where he like winds up ready to fight. And it's so over the top and ridiculous that it's like this person could never actually be real.
I have a line from there. I have a shit ton of Tyler Durden lines. He got my character and performance, because I'm like, oh my god, I don't know. I was taken back this watch. I'm like, man, Brad Pitt is like, this is. I mean, I don't think I have a more favorite performance out of Brad Pitt than this.
It's pretty strong. It's pretty strong.
And I feel like I'm falling into that camp, you know, of like, man, Patrick Bateman, that's my fucking guy. I want my life to be just like, you know, I don't know. I feel like I'm falling into that camp a little bit, but no, he fucking is ripped as hell. He can, like, whenever Lou, the actual owner of the bar that they were fighting in the basement of, came down, he's like, hey, you know, the typical mob boss character. You know, he's at home with broken ribs. I own the place. Who says you can use the basement? Whatever, you know. And he's like, I think you should join our club. And he just lets him beat the shit out of him, and he's laughing while he does it.
Please let us keep it.
Just so that he can bleed enough. Like, he doesn't give a fuck that he's getting beat up this much. He does it all the time. Like, this is like nothing to him. So, like, he just knows that he needs to bleed enough to get in this dude's face, to bleed all over him, and just go crazy. And just be like, you'll let us keep using this for free. Right. Thank you very much. Goodbye. No, it's like, I don't know, part of me, like, doesn't believe the performance is even real because of the twist at the end sometimes, but then I gotta realize, like, Brad Pitt had to do that the whole time. Like, he actually did that. It's not fake. Like,
and it's also, I appreciate the way that they never tip their hand too hard as to him not actually being there. A lot of characters actually speak to Tyler. They actually speak to Brad Pitt, you know, because and it's in those moments that Ed Norton isn't actually there. He's in the spot that Tyler's in. So it's like it's a bizarre little thing there where whenever Tyler's around, if he's the one being talked to, it's very rare that that's not the case, actually, in this movie. The only time Ed Norton gets spoke to particularly is with Marla. And the only other time that he really gets spoken to is whenever he's going like, what the fuck is this, guys? The first thing of Project Mayhem is to not ask questions, sir.
I mean,
imagine being in the back seat of the car whenever they're having that argument in the front seat.
How does that work?
Who's talking? Which voice is he just hearing? Is he saying both of their dialogue? You know, like
Dirt is in the driver's seat. and Ed Norton's in the passenger seat. Fuck it, maybe that's why they crashed. Like straight up, no one's driving the car, and they just push the pedal. I don't know, like they just pushed the pedal down because legitimately no one was driving the car. But man, that's another those scenes where Tyler's just kind of like breaking his spirit, or like what? Not really. I don't know, but like trying to like spit his game either whenever he's like putting the chemical burn on his hand or this, you just gotta let go, man, or like your pain, it's right here, focus right here, right now, and it's like, and then you get to the end and you see it like replay, and he's just by himself, like looking at his hand, like like it's, I don't know, it's crazy. It's I thought that this movie would over time get worse and worse because I know the twist. But I don't think that's true. I enjoyed it far more on this watch. If I do, I don't know. I was having a good time. I was like, I didn't realize how funny it was until this watch. Well, like, I mean, it's a lot of like sexually charged humor a lot of the times, or just stupid guy humor. But there's a few things in there. Like Marla has a few good lines in there, and I don't know. I had a really good time watching. So I mean, I think it's actually kind of getting better over time for me.
And I think that as you get older, you can just appreciate it a little bit more. Like I know my 15-year-old ass, like, because here's the thing: is this is an extremely nihilist movie. Like it is incredibly nihilistic. There's the you are nothing. What you do does not matter. Like. You give yourself over to this greater entity, and that's all you do.
All the same pile of compost.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, now, I think for the most part, it's natural for most people to have gone through a phase where this sort of ideology could have, you could have gravitated towards it in a lower moment, to be sure. So my 15-year-old ass who watched this for the first time does not get the motivations of any of these characters at all. Now I can understand how you would get sucked into that if you do not have any strength of will. Yeah.
I mean, like, think about it. Their recruitment, it started at bars, late at night, and you had to walk over to someone that was beating the shit out of himself. To even like start it to get in the Noah Fight Club, and then once it grew, you had to actually just walk over to just real people beating the shit out of each other in the street and being like, "Yeah, I'm in. Like, I got nothing else to do. I could probably join this." And like, what's up there? I mean, there's a lot of 9 to 5 people that were like, there was that one dude that was like, "Can I go next?
Can I go next?" Yeah.
So I mean. Hey, I guess there were quote unquote normal people going.
Yeah,
in.
No, it's just and that's the thing about Fight Club itself. It's just like Tyler Durden, where he starts by making a little sense. Like whenever he's with Ed Norton, like at the beginning, he's like, "I've never been in a fight." He's like, "Neither have I. I don't want to die without any scars. Let's fucking do this thing." Like let's just live it up. It doesn't fucking matter, like there is a certain raw animal magnetism about that is just so very masculine. The masculine urge to beat the shit out of each other is real. And see what the difference is, that most people keep that in check. The way that these dudes kept it in check is by beating the shit out of each other. But like consensually, they all agreed to beat the shit out of each other. You know what I'm saying? And like, if you're going to start a little club, that's fine. But what you can't have is a super charismatic leader that might one day turn it into a cult. Whenever the first time Ed Norton catches a whiff of it being bigger than he realized, when he sees Bob on the street, and they're like, "Oh, we thought you might have died. What's up, man?" He's like, "I'm doing this new thing. What are you up to?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't go anymore. I got this new thing." And he's like, "Oh, what is it?" He goes, "Well, first rule is that I can't talk about it." The second rule, and he's like, no, man, I'm a member, you know. Like, he's like, I've never seen you, and he's like, you go. He's like, no, I go Tuesdays and Thursdays, and he goes, Ed Norton's like, Tuesdays and Thursdays? What the fuck are you talking about?
I go Saturdays, and Bob says, congratulations.
Yeah.
Acting like there's a league, like you got to make it to the big leagues to get to Saturdays. Like that's what I'm imagining, you know. Like, why would he say congratulations that he goes on Saturdays? Like, are you just not allowed if you're not like fucking
part of the OG crew, I guess? Like, because also the implication that Bob's never seen him Tuesdays and Thursdays means that somebody else in Fight Club just started showing up Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Oh yeah, because who's running the shit?
Can't be Ed Norton. Can't be Tyler Durden.
At that point, people are just getting pretty big. He did need to, like, that's like, I guess his fault, you know, is that like he hates all of this corporate, you know, bullshit and everything, like the delegation and all this stuff. But then he's like, he's making a corporation out of what he's doing, you know, like he just started a little fight club and then he needed to hire people to do it, you know, run it every single day. And, you know, and then once he started, he had to write down homework assignments to hand out to people, literal work for people to do. And then it turns into so much more. He starts a literal compound, dude. This dude.
Here's my thing. If I had ever found myself in a position where I felt the need to go to a fight club every Saturday night, first off, I'm already not doing too well.
Yep, checks out.
But if one day I show up and the leader of said fight club starts soapboxing, he goes, I look around this room and I see potential. I go, brother, we are standing around fighting each other. What the fuck do you mean by that?
Exactly. That's his whole point, is that everyone else is distracted by things that we don't need. You know, this is the real life. You know, I think that's what he says, right? Is like, we don't have a great war. We don't have a great depression. We have a spiritual awakening. This dude is like, that's like, they're not even like fully going operation yet. This dude is telling them that we're living through a spiritual awakening.
Right.
Yeah, he's gone cult to the max pretty early on. And yeah, they're like, their first assignments are like, go smash a bunch of satellites on top of roofs and shit. And, go blow up these Apple computers. And everyone's just like, yeah, for sure, dude. Like, I mean, going to the Fight Club, that was their own decision. They weren't really getting anyone else in trouble. But now they're like, I'm willing to commit arson and actual crime. I guess they were pretty hyped up.
It's a soft entry, you know, like that's what's smart about what Ed Norton's got them doing, is he's getting them to their baser animal instincts.
Yeah. He hands them the assignment right after Fight Club. Mm-hmm. Right when everyone's done, just like fucking, yeah. I mean, that's
testosterone out the ass, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much a 50-man orgy in a basement. Pretty much, like, just as, I guess, if you just cranked up the manly man notch to absolute max. And then they're like, all right, they just go out and terrorize the town. And meanwhile, the whole time, oh my god, that's why he's only there on Saturday. He has to go to the other cities, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He has to literally go and be like, yeah, I'm still here. I'm Tyler Durden, you know. I just can't imagine Ed Norton doing the things that Brad Pitt is saying, you know, like we see a little montage at the end of like him taking the place of Tyler for a little bit and like, you know, doing some shit. But like, that's why you needed to cast two different people, because like Ed Norton just, I don't know. I can't
love the guy, but no, he's not that guy. I mean, because there's
Brad
a moment
Pitt
earlier on in the movie where, and I originally looked at this and I was like, oh yeah, you're saying that to fucking Brad Pitt. Where they get on the bus and it's that like underwear ad where the dude is fucking cut up and he's like, is that what a man's supposed to look like? You're saying that's a Brad fucking Pitt. That's exactly what that man looks like. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm thinking like, it's that envy and jealousy that he experiences and that longing he wants to be that guy. Like he wants to look like that. And Ed Norton's pretty cut up, but it's like the he's so skinny he's cut up thing, whereas Brad Pitt looks like he worked to get that cut up. You know what I'm saying? And there's kind of a balance there, but you know, he looks to his inner self and is like, oh, is that what a real man's supposed to look like? And he's like, yeah. You know, like a little bit of a thing there where it's a little insecure about what he's got going on.
Yeah. He's insecure.
Because, I mean, that's what it's got to be born of, is hating yourself.
Yeah, he's so insecure that he doesn't know that he's fucking Marla, but, like, he's so insecure that, like, instantly he's like, yeah, no, like, whenever Brad comes into the kitchen, he's like, no, I didn't even like her, actually. No, you know, you got with her, wow, I can't even think about her anymore. You know, he's like, that's why he needed Tyler Durden. You know, he needed just the full confidence. He didn't really have any confidence whatsoever, unless it was Tyler Durden. And man,
right.
that's so interesting. I wonder if that's like his actual name or if it's just another creation completely.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that like another thing this movie's trying to say is that it doesn't really fucking matter. Like if his name, like the fact that his real name is never uttered by anyone is in and of itself an important little point about why he feels the need to be someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people are eventually like, you're Tyler Durden, but is that because he just decided he was going to be Tyler Durden? You know?
Yeah, I guess, well, because he blew up his own shit, you know? That was him. He was like, I got to do this. So he had a night where he was like, all right, I'm flipping the switch. And he just cut out, you know, I guess literally like divided his brain. So, I mean, from that moment on, maybe that was right after he told Marla that they were going to split up or whatever. Right? No.
He gets off the plane and goes home and his apartment had been blown up. After the plane ride with Tyler, where he saw him sitting in the seat next to him, and he's like, that's when he meets Tyler Durden. But for his apartment to be blown up when he gets home off the plane means he's already created Tyler and it's finally presented itself to him. You know, like
oh my. Yeah.
It's like there's no telling when Tyler's actually created or born.
Oh shit.
Could he have already been setting up the national chain of fight clubs?
Yeah, did he even set that up, or was that just another one of their homework assignments or something? Because Fight Club was already a thing. A little, was it? Maybe not at that level yet. I don't know. At least at the one we're looking at, though. That's the thing. Is like, has he? How long's he been doing this for? Actually, you know, like, no, because he does buy a lot of material shit, and he wouldn't be doing that. Yeah, no, Tyler had to come at some point. Okay, wow. That's interesting to think about. It's like when Tyler's born.
Yeah, no, it's and that's the thing, is that I don't think it's not in this movie, I don't think. It's left off screen. Like it happened.
What a cool world to build, you know, to think of the aftermath of this, like,
oh yeah.
Setting the debt back to zero. Right? So it's everyone's debt's just gone because the banks are literally gone. Mm-hmm. Okay. So everyone's money means actually the debt, like all everyone's money that's in the bank is gone. So yeah, I mean that is a Joker moment and a half. That's a I don't know. That's like what the Riddler was trying to do, but on steroids.
The Mr. Robot shit, fantastic show. Strongly recommend.
Yeah, but like, I feel like, and that's the thing. We only saw it in one city. This is happening in every major city across America. at the same time. Holy shit.
Yeah, man.
Like, that's actual, maybe Stone Age.
Yeah, apocalyptic shit right there that they've just created because he wanted to tear it all down. And not even consciously did he want to tear it all down, you know?
Wow. I looked up if gasoline and orange juice concentrate can make a bomb. It can.
Did you do it in an incognito browser by chance?
That was also a very funny part of looking it up. Is when I started to type it, I was expecting to be like make a bomb or make whatever. In the movie, they say make napalm. That wasn't even in the Google. It was like, can it go bad? Can it go wrong? People were trying to Google it in a way that wasn't,
that wouldn't
whatever.
Be, yeah.
But they literally had to create just a fictional explosive because it is illegal to literally put that in film and stuff like actual recipes and stuff.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That'd be ludicrous. No, and because we've seen on numerous occasions what film can do to people, you know, like the guy who attempted to assassinate Ronald Reagan confessed to watching Taxi Driver before he did it. He was like, like, yeah, this seems dope.
Well, no way. That's what inspired him. Like, that was his inspiration moment, or like he's about to do it, and he's like, "Well, should watch this."
No, like he watched Taxi Driver and was like, "This guy's got a fucking point," like sort of thing.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Wow. You gotta be careful. Sheesh. Yeah, because
you gotta have any ounce of self-control. Like, you can't put that on a filmmaker.
This is a little too self-involved. Yeah, I think this is a way too involved. You know, like, no one's gonna do this. Like, I feel like people have legitimately started to try, or legitimately tried to start a fight club.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I bet some of them were real for a little bit, you know? But, like,
I guarantee you there are still fight clubs.
Ooh. You think?
There are absolutely people who are getting together and beating the shit out of each other. I just have very, very little doubt about that.
Because of this movie?
I'd be willing to bet that this movie started, you know, a trend in which there were a lot more of them in the early 2000s.
Okay.
But I
1995, you know.
Yeah, 95. You know, I'd be willing to bet that there are a few dudes who are getting together and beating the shit out of each other, but it's just kind of like, you know, boxing night, you know, let's have a good fucking time. Who's putting down money on who? You know, that's the thing about this too, is that like the ethics of what they're doing too, where he's like, no, there's no money. You know, we don't bet on anything. You know, if a guy goes limp, it's over. If they say stop, it's over. If they tap out, it's over.
Yeah.
And a fight will go on as long as it has to. There's no time limit. There's no rounds. There's nothing like that. It's just you fight until one of those three things happens.
Well, I guess the recruitment process is actually pretty sound, because like the last rule or whatever is if this is your first night,
you have to fight.
So if you're about it and you get beat up, you will get beat up your first time. Because they're probably putting someone else pretty good up against you, you know?
Someone who's been there a couple nights, probably. Maybe you got a couple newbies. Maybe a newbie versus a newbie.
Your first night, you're going to get your shit rocked. And you have a decision to make that night. Do I come back or no? If you're a normal, sane person, you're like, oh my God, what was the point of that? I just got the shit beat out of me, you know? Like, no point. But the people who do come back actually think, that was fun. I like that feeling. You know, they're already in. Like, I feel like this is just a good way to recruit a very cult-like population.
For sure.
At the bar, drunk, probably down low a little bit, you know? I don't know, they're at the bar. I'm not saying bars are, you know, if you're at a bar, you're instantly doing bad in life, but
at the bars they're at.
Bar. Yeah, they were not the nicest bar, that's for sure. I think the recruitment process is pretty sound. Like, they're getting the people that they need. And man, Tyler Durden, kind of an undersung hero. Hear me out here. all the IDs that were nailed on the back of the door. Do you think that was all the IDs from a fake gun that he's using to tell someone to get their life together? And like, if you
and that's another thing that you're like,
hey,
hats off to you know, you're like,
hey, no bullets in the gun. You know, is this where you want to be? Do you really want to die right here? Like that would
tomorrow morning he'll eat breakfast and it'll taste better than anything he's ever tasted in his life.
Dude, I mean, if that were me, holy shit, I'd be like, yup, yeah. I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting my shit together.
I'm going to fucking therapy, man.
Yeah, and Ed Norton like played that part perfect. You know, like I feel ill. Like, oh my god, that's so bad. But then he's like, and then he says like his breakfast will taste better than everything. And he was like, god damn, well shit, no, you know, and he also saw that there were no bullets in the gun, as well. So it was all just an act, and that's the thing. He's just watching himself do that, or that's an actor in the back of that convenience store. And Ed Norton is really there. That's always funny to think about, is like seeing everything if Tyler Durden is not actually there, and for real Ed Norton is the real one there. And it doesn't work on a lot of occasions because it just, I don't know. It's not how the movie works, but I don't know. I always like whenever. How is he downstairs whenever he hears Tyler and Marla getting it on? You know? Like, he's
mentally... Well, there's a few things that are very important there. There's a point when he is downstairs while they are banging, and the phone rings. And as soon as he picks it up, the sounds of them having sex stop. Which means he stopped having sex to go answer the phone.
No way.
So like mentally he's not there, you know, he's completely dissociating.
Fair enough. If this dude can completely create an image of himself as Tyler Durden, he could probably conjure up some other shit too. You know, Marla could be fake for all we know. You know, like,
right.
She's real.
She's real, but
maybe.
Yeah, I guess we don't get anything. Well, she gets dragged upstairs by a bunch of the goons and stuff, so unless a bunch of the goons are fake, then, you know, we're really reaching at that point.
This is true. She's real.
Yeah.
Unless all the goons are fake as well. Unless all of this is in his head and he accomplished this, but he actually...
Right. None of this actually happened, and that's the twist.
Literally, he just was beating himself up, and he was on this fucking high from being like, yeah, I could start something here. And then he just kept going crazier and crazier. I mean, he did shoot himself in the mouth. So...
It's a tough motherfucker right there.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. What an ending to a movie. Like,
yeah, that's my favorite scene, and I have like...
Oh my god. Like, everything, it's just... The movie's already nuts. It's just building and building and building. You're going from a small fight club to a little bit of crime to a smiley face on the side of a building to we're farming for making explosives now. Like, that is our sole job. And it's just like, holy fuck. And how could it get crazier? Like, what could happen more? And it just keeps going. And man, that's whenever, like, Brad Pitt's chilling with the, you know, he's, I don't know, Ed Norton's just sitting in the chair, you know, very, very, I don't know, not looking good. And then Brad's just over there chilling with the gun in his hand. He's like, oh, wait a minute. You know, we kind of did the Rey and Kylo saber pass behind the head, but in his own head. It's actually just the same person. No,
in your hand.
Yeah, no dyad necessary here. That's just all him. But I don't know. That was
doesn't change anything. Won't do you any good. And he's like, "How about if I shoot my fucking self? Then what about that?"
Our head. And he's like, "Okay." He's like, "Wow, this is the first time you've ever done anything to challenge me. Literally, like that's the first time in the movie that Brad Pitt has ever been challenged. Like I guess like, you know, him just being like, I want you to tell me more. But he's never had any power at all in any situation really.
No.
So, yeah, man. No, I gave Brad Pitt the clean sweep for me. I thought it. I mean, it was I think he even got my shot as well. Just super singular. It's kind of out of nowhere. The camera just starts going crazy, and Brad Pitt's just staring into it. It's just like,
oh, he's monologuing. Yeah,
yeah. It's like I think it's like at the end of one of his monologues. And it's just he's just I don't know. It's like going through. I think he's just in the house, and it's like, but like kind of. I kind of just threw it in there because I thought it. I don't know. Looked really cool, and just the image in my head of Brad Pitt just being in front of a camera, and like, is he shaking too, or is it just the camera shaking? You know, like I don't know. Like I was thinking if like he's doing a little acting, you know, as well, but then he's like literally just looking right into a camera. But like,
yeah, I like that shot a lot, and I think it really serves the purpose of showing a distinct moment for the Ed Norton reveal later on, whenever, you know, because there's the same shot happens, but it's Ed Norton later on in the exact same place in the exact same spot.
Wait, what? How did I miss that then?
That's part of the montage.
Oh my god, how did I miss that? I literally, wow. Are we thinking of a different shot maybe?
Nope, I know exactly the one you're talking about. Where he is up in the camera and it's just shaking and he's talking directly to it. Same thing happens with Ed Norton later on in the movie when they reveal it's actually him.
Wait, what? Is it like in the hotel room?
Yeah, it's part of the montage where they're showing him in all the different spots.
Shit, oh shit. Okay, yeah.
No, it's a great shot. And I like the way that it's on the sides of the screen. You see like where the film would shake, you know, like, and that's another really cool detail of it.
He's slicing himself in there. The one frames where he's like, you know, like Brad Pitt's just in a frame for a second. I think that's hilarious. Can't do porn, I guess, you know, like, I wonder if that was the actual goal. But then like the studio was like, dude, what? No, we can't put that in like, it can be rated R. This is probably rated R.
It's definitely rated R.
Yeah, but like it bumps up to the
NC-17 or whatever the fuck. Yeah,
you have just real porn, you know, sliced in there.
Yeah, I guess the sex that they include is all CGI as well. You know, there's like one scene where they're actually fucking, but it's not. They're not actually fucking, but like,
and even when Ed Norton's just checking out if there's a lump in her breast, like, didn't even show, like, I don't know, it was just like, it was in the mirror too. Like, I thought that was kind of funny, is that he was standing like behind her to like kind of like show that he was like still not wanting to look at her naked, but then there's a mirror right there that he's definitely just like staring right at him, you know. I thought that was pretty funny. And like, is she just trying, like, because, man, put yourself in her shoes.
Yeah, she tries to get him going a couple times, and he's like, "No, okay, bye."
She's just trying to get him going, and she's like, "What the fuck? Like, some nights you're just fucking a whole different person." Like, literally, like, yeah. I mean, like, I guess
literally says that.
Yeah, I guess true, man. Just what a funny dichotomy going on there. But I don't know which Tyler Durden line I'm going with, but man, I have a couple. One's very early on in the plane when they meet each other. Now is a question of etiquette. As I pass, do I give you the ass or the crotch? And he gives Ed Norton the ass, and then he gives the
crotch.
Gives the crotch to the flight attendant. I thought that was pretty good. One of his just kind of manifesto lines is the things you own end up owning you. Is kind of talking to Ed Norton. And then another one of his manifesto lines, it's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything. You know, like, it's like, I don't need to like lose it. You know, like, I could still think to do the same thing that you're doing, but still be going about my normal life. You know, like, it's not actually necessary. but it sounds like it makes sense when he says it.
No, yeah.
Really
No, and that's the thing is he's so magnetic and charismatic in those moments that it's like 100% like this man is a cult leader. Like that is what he is born to do. You know, like that is what this entity he's created is there for, is because he's saying shit that makes sense. You know, it does make sense and you can follow it. And if you are in a shitty place where you are hating the world and you're hating life, this gives you purpose and it gives you a direction, and you join, like it's the same thing as every other cult ever. You know what I'm saying?
I love that Jared Leto's in this movie. Like it just makes it even, dude, like actually has his own cult. I swear to God. Like he has his own retreats where you got to pay like $3,000 to have a fucking tent. You got to shit in the woods and like all that. Like it's like, I don't know, just to hear him talk and like follow him and like and like there's a I don't know, it's really weird. But I feel like it makes sense because literally I think Brad Pitt is like, we all want to be spectacular, we all want to be like good actors or something. Like as he's walking through the crowd monologuing, and as he gets to Jared Leto, he like specifically says, we all want to be something great. You know, we're trying, but we're not getting there. And like I thought that was just spectacular. Wow, it's crazy that we will get to Morbius one day, and that like you still haven't seen it, and that's unbelievable. I was thinking
I might not even watch it when that episode comes around. I might just raw dog that podcast.
You're like, it sounds shitty. All right, whatever. Just like,
yeah, no, I mean, like, dude, when he becomes a vampire, I mean, like, man, that seems so, like I could just watch the trailer and basically talk about the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like my favorite scenes and shots are picked out of that and stuff. And
I don't know, maybe I am going a little bit crazy because I had the thought to be like, man, it is kind of spooky season. Do I watch Morbius? You know, I'm like. Like, is it time? Like, you know, like.
I don't think it's ever the right time.
I know I'm going to hate it, but it will be a different experience.
You love hate watching stuff. Like, it's just a fun time, man.
And
no, like, but, Jared Leto's not getting any of the nods for me. I do have a great shot that I really, really enjoyed, and it's, the Fight Club starting to get rolling and stuff, and they pull up to the bar. They hop out the car and walk through the door, and the camera follows them walking into the door, and then they look at the bartender, and the camera pans to the bartender, and the bartender's like, everybody's got to go home, and it's just a oneer where they followed them into the bar. It shows the bar clearing out, and I just fucking loved it. It was just
it is clean. I did not,
very, very clean.
It is a oneer, isn't it? Man. Yeah. I guess they could have some hidden cuts in there, but
it's not a very long oneer. Like it's pretty simply choreographed. Like it's nothing that's like.
It was like, were they walking or was it very? I guess they got some like shit where you could
dollies and shit. You know, like that's it's
tracks and like wheeling that whole shit. You know, was it like tight an area? Like they went down some steps and shit, right?
They did not during that oneer.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's during the oneer, it's just them walking in and then them basically showing everybody clearing out. Like it's very simple and it's probably only about 20 seconds, if that. But it's super satisfying and I really enjoyed it.
There were a few really cool shots. I remember one. I mean, it was. I don't even remember the moment because I think it was earlier on, but it was Ed Norton just walking out of a building and the camera was super low. And it just pans upward, to show like his face, and then like, I think it was Marla, like she was, maybe it was after the breast lump, and when he's walking out after that, I think it's for no reason, but like the camera is literally like on the ground, like pointed straight up, and you see like Ed Norton. And then Marla come out of the window from like over top. And it was
gotcha.
It was really
cool.
That's
satisfying. There's a couple great scenes with Marla, man. I love whenever she'd, she calls Tyler when she's, taking a bit too many pills, and she's like, "This isn't like a committing suicide thing. I think this is one of those more a cry for help things."
Yeah, you're so nonchalant about it. I guess.
Well, and then that's when he, is that when he sets the phone up? Yeah, because that's before they have sex. He like sets the phone on the hook, and Tyler comes around the corner and is like, "Oh, like let's see what this is about."
Yeah.
And then he gets to her apartment before the end of the phone call, because she's still counting down like 10, 9, 8, 7, and then 3, 2, hold on a second. And she goes and answers the door, and she's like, "Wow, you got here fast." That whole thing. Mm-hmm. It also implies that because the cops come. She says, "Shit, somebody called the cops." Pretty sure that had to have been Ed Norton. Who the fuck else would have known she was trying to kill herself?
Yeah. Because I was also thinking that, like, that countdown, that's just what she's thinking. I mean, she's like, she took a whole bottle of Xanax, Like, she's slow. She's going to be slow as shit. And maybe that countdown from 10 was actually, like, 30 minutes.
That's fair. Yeah.
And, yeah, I guess the idea there is that Ed Norton puts the phone down and it's just in Tyler Durden mode, from that point on.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even really talk to her for that long. He's just like, I know what I gotta do.
He knows where he goes.
Like, yeah. What a weird thought process that is. This is an actual, like, real suicide attempt. I'm gonna put down the phone, and now I'm gonna fuck you? Is that like his first thought, or like he's just like, Tyler's gotta deal with this?
I think you're dealing with Tyler, who actually, like, Tyler's the side of him that had, like, if Ed Norton's handling that conversation, he's just like,
fuck, I'll call the
cops. I'd kill myself too. Like, that's kind of, like, but Tyler handling that conversation is kind of like, well, hold on a second. Let me come on over. Let's do some shit, let's live it up a little bit.
Guess gotta keep her up all night long, I guess, but that's the first time they fuck. So it's not like that's not one of her tricks to, like, get him there. I mean, I think that was probably just for real. Is it because, I wonder, maybe, I mean, she was going to those support groups on her own. She was doing that as well. She's a little messed up herself.
Oh, for sure.
That's for sure. But, like, I wonder if there was something immediate that made her take all those Xanax? Like, was it that Ed Norton, like, actually wasn't showing up anymore? Like, she cheated and, like, she realized that he wasn't even showing up anymore to his, and she was like, oh, wow. Like, I
don't think there was an inciting event. I think this is just a person who was thinking about killing themselves.
Okay.
I kind of get that implication from just her entire being, is that
that's true. Yeah, she doesn't really. I guess she just doesn't give a fuck. I forgot about that. She just walks in traffic. She's hoping to, like, kind of die.
Well, that's the reason Tyler gravitates to her so much, is because she's already to the point where he's trying to get Ed Norton. Like, he's like, you can't be afraid of death. We're all gonna die one day. You gotta welcome that. Almost
not real as well. Sometimes, like, whenever she's walking out in traffic, and it's just, I mean, like,
it's just going all around her.
Like, and whenever Ed Norton's, like, telling her, like, hey, whoa, stop, like, they're honking at him and stop, like, moving around him, but, like, when she walks in the street, it's just nothing, like, no one gives a fuck. No one honks their horn. It's just like, and then she shows up after he shoots himself in the head. It's like maybe he is actually dead there at the end. Maybe he actually doesn't live through that, and that's just maybe his last thoughts as he's, like, bleeding out or something, and then he would have his. I mean, because, man, you need a woman. In his case, he needs a woman that's as fucked up as he is, and I don't think that woman actually exists. So I think, like, Marla might not be real. I don't know. But it is
No, I mean,
he's bringing her up at the end.
I think the amount she has in common with Tyler kind of, it benefits that theory. I could see her being kind of the antithesis of everything he is, and that's why he kind of hates her. But Tyler loves her, and he grows to hate Tyler, and like all this stuff. Like it's just
yeah. She was the reason that he couldn't keep going to those like clubs or
support groups.
Support groups. Yeah, she was the reason that he couldn't go anymore. So maybe that's like another kickstart for like Tyler to be like, he can't be he needs to like not sleep anymore. Like you can't sleep. And this is how he slept. So he's like, got to interrupt it somehow. Marla. Now he can't sleep anymore.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like the theory. I like that theory. I think that, nobody else ever interacts with him. Or with her.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. There's like barely I don't even think there's a moment where Brad Pitt and Marla are in the like.
No, yeah, they're never in the same room.
They literally never interact.
Except for there's one moment, it's when Ed Norton's outside the door when they're fucking, and Brad Pitt comes to the door, and he's like, "You want to finish her off?"
Oh yeah.
And then she goes, "Who are you talking to?"
So in real life,
Tyler Durden gave him the opportunity to take back over.
Because he was actually fucking her.
Mm-hmm.
So he just took a break and then opened the door and then had to imagine Tyler there.
Had to imagine Ed Norton there. Had to imagine himself there.
Like, he just took a break. Maybe he just took a break, went to go down to get a glass of water. And then, I don't know, I'm trying to make too much sense of it.
No, yeah, this is not the movie
just
for that.
The mind of an insane person.
Yeah. No, yeah, like,
So, yeah. I mean, like, on one hand, I want to feel bad, because it's like...
I mean, there's a good chance he never even got up and went to the door. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could literally be a visual manifestation of the interaction in his mind, where it's like, you want to take over?
He's wearing some dish gloves or something?
Yeah, yep.
He was wearing a dish glove? I mean, hey.
She was on the floor. She, like, gets up off the bed, leans over the bed, and is like, "Who are you talking to?" Like,
whoa. I mean, goddamn, Brad Pitt. Looking tip top.
That's a sexy man. Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, like that makes sense. Like, he's like, I mean, it literally is like the everything that Ed Norton, not Ed, I feel really bad. Like, I feel like I'm throwing Ed Norton under the bus, saying that like it's everything Ed Norton wants to feel, wants to be, but just the
call
character.
him Jack.
Yeah, in the movie, Jack. Oh yeah, who does Bob? What does Bob call him? Cornelius. It's something like so.
Yeah, it's Cornelius.
Is it? Yeah, Cornelius. Yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what I'll stick with. But
like, I am Jack's gallbladder.
True.
I am Jack's. So I think it's I like to think that he is Jack. Like that could be a distinct possibility. And he doesn't have any feelings in and of himself. He's just I am Jack's feeling of overwhelming grief. I am Jack's whatever. Like
yeah. Oh man, this movie actually can just keep getting deeper somehow, which is kind of nuts. Now I'm gonna watch thinking if Marla's even real.
And that's another thing is that like one way or the other,
it doesn't matter. Like it's like
if she's real, it's the exact same as if she's not real.
Yeah. Yeah, what? Wow. Yeah, I don't know, maybe there's... What an interesting world. Like, yeah, I guess it's based on a novel, so that's like, it does come from something, Someone was spitting. Wow. Yeah, it's getting deeper and deeper. I can't believe, because I mean, at the end when he does shoot himself, do you think he's actually alive at the end, and he does make it through?
I mean,
because I think
it's important where the bullet exits his head. It doesn't go straight up and out. He's holding the back of his jaw.
I know, but like the way he puts the gun in his mouth, it comes out the back of Brad Pitt's head. You know?
Yeah.
And it could be that's his wake up moment. You know, like he's like, or like, I'm done. Like this is him killing Brad Pitt for good, you know, sort of thing. So it had to show him at the back of his head, you know, like him actually dying, whatever.
Yeah, like that's my thing, is that I think that taking it too literally, because I mean, I guess that the way that I see the ending of this movie is just that he's got his mind back. He's took control of his faculties again.
Okay.
Whether or not he's alive, again, I don't think it particularly matters. I think that one way or the other, like either he took possession of himself long enough to kill himself instead of keep doing this fucking charade thing they've got going on.
Okay.
Or he took control, killed Tyler, and now we got this thing to deal with. I've destroyed the Earth, basically, or America.
Dude actually like took down America, maybe the world. We don't know. We have no. Well, I guess we see the flight tickets. We do. We see.
Yeah, it's like Miami. It's all over America. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he's going to other countries.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. I mean, wiping America off the map, though. I mean that sparks. That sparks a world war, though. It's like, oh, America's gone. Let's go. You know, like,
Sorry, I've got wood floor upstairs, and the dogs have the zoomies right now. So
it's their Fight Club time. It's just, what time is it?
The whole time I'm fucking talking, and I'm trying my hardest to concentrate, but man, it's hard.
It's their Fight Club time.
It is. It is.
Dogs. They got feelings too.
Oh yeah, man. They got to bark. They got to run. They got to do their thing, and I respect that. But man, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. I do, however, have one more Tyler Durden line, and I do believe it is the one I'm going to go with, mostly because of the delivery of it. And it's at the end in the parking garage, after he's like fighting himself. Or like, not the green one, you know, telling him like which wire not to pull out and stuff. Like, oh, well, maybe I was thinking about all the wrong ones because I knew you were thinking that I would, you know, he's like playing with him the whole time. And then he gets out of the truck, you know, I guess he kicks himself out of the truck. But he shoots at the truck, you know. Yeah, and then Tyler or Brad Pitt just, whoa! Like, you know, he's like slows it, you know, he's like, dude, you are now firing a gun at your imaginary friend at over 400 pounds of nitroglycerin. Like he says, like he just gets really fast there at the end. Like he's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, come on, dude."
That's the beginning of that finale, and I fucking love that scene, dude. And that was a great delivery. There's a lot of stuff that Ed Norton does there that physical comedy wise is really, really impressive. Some of the stuff I'm not quite sure how it's possible.
He had to be on wires for some of it, or like
when he's like getting dragged.
Yeah.
Like not sure how that's possible or if it is, but regardless, it looked fucking awesome.
He put on the performance in The Boss. You know, whenever
he's easily my performance.
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
Ed Norton's definitely my performance. I love Ed Norton, and the way that he plays this lifeless dork at the beginning of the movie, and then it's sort of evolving whenever he is in that scene with his boss and he's beating the shit out of himself. And he's like, no, sir, what are you doing? And he like, he starts doing all this stuff. He's like, no, please. And the guy's just fucking watching him. He's like, oh my God.
What's that guy gonna do? What's that guy gonna do?
No, not shit. Well, and that's what's crazy is that he's doing to this guy what Tyler Durden does to Lou later on in the movie. It's the same fucking shit basically, but it's just a different, this is his tactic. If he wants to do what he wants to do, he goes fucking nuts. That's just what he does. And I think that's,
I think it's just because normal humans are not equipped to deal with that. Our lives, maybe that used to be normal back in the day. When people had to fucking kill for their food, hunt, people were he says hunter gatherers. I guess he's that's who he idolizes. It's well, we don't need all these things, but
survival. I mean by the hunter gatherer sense of the word.
Yeah, it's well, that was, I don't know, 10, 12,000 years ago. Whenever we were that, we're a much different people now. We have specifically done things to go the other direction from hunter gatherer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all you're dealing with in this movie is a man who can't deal with the world as it is, so he conjures up a self that doesn't have to, and tries to make it, set it back a couple thousand years. Ultimately,
fucking a hustler. He
hustler,
he knows what he's good at. He can talk. He's a showman.
Mm-hmm.
He can rally up some people. And he found the right people to rally up and probably took down the greater portion of the earth.
His name is Robert Paulson, baby.
And only one casualty. Or I guess two. Right? One got shot. No. Because in that mission, one of them just died and the other one was injured, right? You had a gunshot wound. Okay.
Yeah, no, Robert Paulson shot in the head, but
was the only one who died. Okay. Yeah. So wow.
Yep.
Pretty, as far as,
pretty spotless record.
Yeah. That's pretty good. One sacrifice. And the other human sacrifices he said he was making was just to get Oh, that's kind of fucked up though. Now that I think about it, all those IDs, all those people that he said to get your life in order, it doesn't fucking matter. Are they going to still be a veterinarian whenever America is back to the Stone Age? Get your life together. I know I'm about to blow up the fucking country in about a couple weeks. Maybe 6 weeks. Maybe that's what it was. I'll come back and check on you in 6 weeks. That's maybe his way of saying that's when it's. That's how far away we are.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm left in a place with this movie where I think that I enjoy it very, very much. I think it's very well shot. I think it's very well acted. I think that the writing is pretty tight. But it's an interesting moral stance to take. I think that the ending is the shining glimmer of hope from Ed Norton taking control is just that's why I like to think Helena Bonham Carter's character is real. That's why I like to think Marla Singer is actually there. Because the line I'm going with is the last one. You've met me at a very strange time in my life. That's talk about the undersell of the century right there. Yeah. This is quite the, and not to mention that October 15th, 1999, we're looking at this dude who's trying to collapse the banks. We're looking at this man who's trying to set us back to the Stone Age. 2000 is in a couple months, baby. Do you know how many people were like Y2K, Fight Club, The Matrix? All this shit is connected,
God, dude. If I was born 20 years earlier, I would have been thinking we were done for with all these movies coming out, dude. I'm like, there's no way it's a coincidence.
Yeah, right.
My mind's too curious for that.
It's a more than anything for me. It's a fun movie to watch, especially since I'm not vulnerable of mind and in principle.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel badly for those who might watch this and be like, wait a second, does Tyler Durden have it figured out? You know, there are certain, and that's the thing, is that he's magnetic. You gravitate towards him. He has points about certain things, but this is certainly not the man that you want to be following.
And he kind of, I love this just question to ask people. It like something that isn't illegal, but like honestly should be, or it's mainly just like unethical, or just so weird that why are you even doing that in the first place?
Right.
And like this is a pretty good one of going to emotional support groups.
Yeah.
I guess, he was doing it to sleep, but like technically you can, like.
Oh yeah, you can just go to any support group you want.
No one's going to stop you. And
the shit he explains it as, he's like, the more that I didn't talk, the worse they thought it was, so the harder they cried and the harder I got to cry.
That actually kind of makes, I feel like
it tracks.
That's probably how it would roll in the rules.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can do that. I mean, I don't think beating yourself, blackmailing your boss like he did, I don't think that works out in the real world 100%, I don't know, but that's pretty sick. That's, I guess, legal to beat yourself up to make it seem that someone else. No, that's fraud. Is that fraud, or is that only with money? I don't know how the legal system works. Yeah, no, I'm too into the semantics of this movie.
Yeah, and it's a fun movie to get into the nitty-gritty of, but like I think that it's one of those movies that you can take deeper and you can try and parse through the meaning of everything.
Yeah.
But comparatively to a lot of movies, I think it's pretty just on the fucking nose. I think it is presenting to you exactly what it wants to say. I think it's presenting exactly what it means and who's real and who's not. I think that with a moment where it's like, oh shit, Tyler was never actually there. If Marla wasn't there, we would have had that too. I think that
a sequel. I don't think there is a sequel. I think there's just, at that point, there's nothing to film. Everything's gone.
Yeah.
It's just apocalypse. That's a whole different movie. That's just like Apocalypse Now.
Right.
Oh, I didn't even mean for that. I just meant like it's
we're heading to Vietnam in the sequel, baby.
Currently is what I meant. Not like okay.
No, I get you. But are we ready for a rating? You think, or is there any last thoughts you have on the movie, or?
I think we are. I think we covered them all. Yeah, we got shot. We got the line. Yeah, I said Lou getting the bit. My scene was between. You had the ending, so I was just gonna throw some love at something else, and it was either Lou, the mob boss kind of guy, coming down, be like, "Oh, I own this place," and then Brad Pitt just going insane on his ass. I liked that, or the first, they walk out of the bar and he's like, "Hey, hit me. I want you to hit me as hard as you can," and just seeing them go back and forth and actually start to just do that for the first time. It was a very nice. I don't know which. I think I'll pick the mob boss. I think that performance was just so sick and over the top.
Right,
spitting blood in his mouth. You don't know where I've been. Oh my god, can you imagine? Holy shit! Like. Just getting blood spewed in your face over someone who's laughing as you punch them, and I'll go with that one. Makes me feel a little better giving Brad Pitt the performance here. I didn't think about Edward Norton as much. I was just kind of captivated by Brad Pitt, but narrating the whole time. I mean, he there's a lot of narration in this.
Oh yeah, like it's pretty much nothing but narration.
Yeah.
So Brad Pitt, I was trying to open it up a bit, I was attempting to go I know Brad Pitt's awesome in this movie. What else have I not noticed about it? And so I did end up realizing just how good Ed Norton is, and I've come to appreciate Ed Norton so fucking much.
He's in the West group, so it's like he's cool.
Yeah, he's very cool.
He's got this.
We got a big Ed Norton week. This week is
right.
Friday. Friday is also the Incredible Hulk for our comic book movie journey through film. So Ed Norton popping up a couple times this week, which I love. I love how that works out every once in a while. But yeah, let's talk a rating for this movie. How you feeling about it?
Ooh, it's a pretty high enjoyment. Not out of 10 or anything like that, I don't think. But let's see. I mean, that's the thing you can say it like about this movie is that it is fun and it keeps you in, whether you know the twist or not. You're still like on the edge.
It catches you.
Yeah, it's like it's just a train wreck you can't look away from. So I mean, I don't know. I'm in the 9 range. I think for sure. Which Gangs in New York was a 9. Come on, I think I'm watching Fight Club before that. What's another 9? Henry Sugar.
Tenet's a 9.25.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, a 9. Blasphemy. That's okay though.
We probably should have taken that a little higher.
It's okay. I understand. I don't know. I think I'm at like a 9.25.
Okay.
Or around there.
I could get with that. Personally, I think that.
Do we have 9.25s? Isle of Dogs.
We do. Tenet
and Life Aquatic. Okay. Do I enjoy this as much as Tenet? Ooh.
I'm like, for me personally, so when it came to the 9, we gave Gangs of New York. I wasn't quite there. That was one I kind of conceded to you, which that's because for me, this is around an 8.75. I think that personally, an 8.75 for me, a 9.25 for you, a 9 might be the place to meet in the middle. I'm
having second thoughts about this 9.25 after hearing Tenet. Is a 9.25. Tenet. I mean that makes me cry at the end there.
Yeah, like that's my thing is that this movie is fun as fuck. It's undeniably fun. But when we look at our 8.75s after hours, Casino. It's a fun fucking watch. Does it get me there emotionally? Probably not.
I think I'm comfortable with I enjoy this more than Casino. I think I could go 9.
This is one of those ones where if we didn't do 0.25 intervals, we'd be splitting hairs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so I'm cool with a 9 because, like, frankly, more than Gangs in New York, less than Tenet. We'd be like 9.1.
That's the strength of this movie. It is very well made, very well performed. But like, I don't know. It's like putting this on the same level as Killers of the Flower Moon or The Irishman isn't even in the question.
No, I mean, like, it's a well shot movie. There's no doubt about that, and it's extremely well performed. But like, we did all that discussion about it and stuff, and I think it's much more shallow than people give it credit for. I think people tend to inflate.
Oh yeah, I'm just diving deep into the stupidest details there is.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like, we're on a podcast; it's the place to do that, But there are things about this movie, and people who like this, like, again, the people who like this movie shouldn't affect the way I like it, but it's kind of like the MCU, where if you were certain that those are the greatest movies of all time, I'm gonna think you're a little fucking dumb. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of them. Like, it's and not to say that this is like MCU type movie. No, I mean, like, if this is your holy grail of movies, I think you're a little dumb.
Ooh, that's a perfect tier. There's like an MCU tier where like that it's just that kind of a movie. There's like this middle ground where like Fight Club kind of stands, and then there's like I guess cinema or whatever you want to. I don't know. Whatever.
No, yeah, I mean, like there are levels to it. Like it's just
like good level. It is still above.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. This is a good fucking movie. I don't want to be like. I know I'm coming away from this sounding like I'm a little bit of a hater on Fight Club, and I'm absolutely not. But like when we're comparing it critically to some of these movies that we've done in the past, Gangs of New York 9, no fucking way.
No. Yeah, I can't say that. So we're already at 8.75. Do we have any 8.7? That's Shutter Island. Ooh, maybe Shutter Island. It's also what we gave After Hours.
We gave Barbie an 8.5.
French Dispatch an 8.5.
8.5 is it's not a bad one there. I don't mind 8.5. Got Royal Tenenbaums and Life Aquatic at 8.25.
I don't mind 8.5.
I don't mind 8.5 either. I think that feels pretty good.
8.67. That would tie it with Shutter Island. I think I kind of like that. That's kind of
the twist.
That's a pretty close compare. Yeah, a twist movie. That I think is just a little bit more fun.
I think I enjoy it more, but it's not quite as good.
That's perfect, and that's exactly how it goes. Yeah, 8.5 for enjoyment on Shutter Island, but a 9 here. We do enjoy it better, but critically it's an 8.75 on Shutter Island, and only an 8.5 here. And I think I think that is probably the closest comparison I could make out of the movies we've covered.
And I will say, like the enjoyment is higher. I would absolutely rewatch this sooner than Shutter Island. You know.
Wow! It also ties The Prestige.
Wow.
Exactly. And The Prestige we didn't enjoy, but we said was a better made movie.
There you go.
The Prestige was at an 8 enjoyment, but at a 9 critically.
There was something about the production design and the performances in that movie that were just fucking ridiculous.
Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale.
That's actually fucking crazy that The Prestige, Shutter Island, and Fight Club all ended up at the same.
I really feel like they're all the same category of movies. Like I don't know, like I feel like that's actually how that's a good tier of movies right there. Like equal, like on equal footing. I don't think I could put any.
And it's completely unintentional. How the fuck does that happen?
They're all different. Not one of the ratings are the same. On any of them, they're all different variants of 8.25 or 9, whatever.
That's fucking nuts. All right, yeah, you know, like 100%. I would sooner watch Shutter Island than Prestige. I would sooner watch Fight Club than Shutter Island. But I would say the inverse is true for the quality. I would say the Prestige is better than Shutter Island, which is better than Fight Club, which is fucking crazy.
Wow. Maybe we do got something going on here. You know, maybe we are getting better at this because that actually makes sense there.
No, yeah, I also think that the 0.25 intervals give us a little bit more of a, you know, it gives us more structure. It gives us a place to just really, we have to choose something, you know.
If we were off the hip, still doing the 4,
these would be a fucking mess.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we gave 7, like a 5.77 or a 4.77 out of 5, you know, or some shit.
That's another David Fincher one, you know. That's another David Fincher Brad Pitt collaboration there.
Good Halloween-y. Ooh. Just a minute edition, maybe. Anyway.
But yeah, an 87% on the old Penny Bloom meter there. 8.8 on IMDb. So right there for us. And let's see what the Rotten Tomatoes score is for this bad boy. The phone's gonna take its sweet fucking time, as it is wont to do.
See if I can get her. 79% critically, but the audience fucking loves it at a 96.
I believe that. And that kind of tracks with what we've got going on here. So, yeah, man. Another goodie in the books, another director spotlight started, and we keep the ball rolling next week with The Social Network in anticipation of The Killer. That'll be a first watch for me, which will be my first watch. Gangs of New York was a first watch for me, so it'll be a...
I think me as well. There's only one scene that I do remember, if it even is in this movie. I guess kind of too. I remember like Andrew Garfield throwing down a MacBook and getting pissed.
Yeah,
I've just seen that clip a lot. But the scene I do remember, if it is in this movie, is like a hacking montage. It's like this hacking competition in this dark room, and it's like to recruit someone, I think.
All right.
Could be a completely different movie, but if it shows up, I'm just going to be like, oh yeah, that's the thing I remember from. But no, it's definitely a first watch for me, pretty much. Fully, that's for sure.
Man, yeah, I'm fucking ready then. We got 2 goodies in anticipation of what I'm hearing is a goodie and the killer. A bunch of the, critics that I trust are like, oh, this movie fucks, which is a good sign. I'm hearing that it's a mix of like Gone Girl and Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which is hilarious because that just means we picked like the 2 completely wrong movies in Fincher's filmography to do. Whoopsie. I do love Gone Girl though. Still my favorite Fincher.
Okay.
Never seen Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but I'll have to check it out. But yeah, Social Network next week. Incredible Hulk this Friday. Continue that Ed Norton train there. We also got Winter is Blooming going on Mondays, and it's a whole lot of fun. November, finally the month where we're gonna get to that year-long goal, and I'm so very happy about that. So thank you everybody who's tuning in and downloading. And remember, keep downloading. Remember to leave 5-star rates and reviews wherever you might be listening. Remember to stand in solidarity with SAG-AFTRA as they continue their struggle against the studios. Doesn't seem like it's going to get any better anytime soon. The studios are using some pretty blatant scare tactics as of late, as of the date of recording, which is about a week in advance of when this is coming out.
It always seems like it's bad news when we talk about the strike. Every time we bring it up, could throw in some good news. It's completely unrelated, but a UAW strike just was successful, and my father is getting a 25% raise out of this, amongst some other retirement benefits, which is very good for him because he's retiring in like 2 years.
Love that. I love
so,
that.
A strike that was successful, and that is now moving on to GM and the other major car companies. So there's still hope.
Yeah.
That gave me a little like refresher with the SAG-AFTRA strike.
Oh man, yeah.
There's still hope for this.
Unions, they're typically in the fucking right. And if they feel they're being maltreated, it needs to be corrected, and the actors deserve everything they're asking for. But remember to follow on Instagram and Twitter at Penny Bloom Pod, or on Instagram at Penny Bloom Podcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you might be listening, and to download episodes. With that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom. And you've met me at a very strange time in my life.